We've hit the streets of Boston in our high heels.
And we're going to bring you the hippest trends of the season.
Welcome to WEBN Special Falling into Fashion. I'm Victoria Berglund.
And I'm Layla Halabian. We're going to be making our way down Newbury Street, Boston's utmost fashionista district, to bring you the latest trends from Boston's Fashion Week.
We'll introduce you to up-and-coming designers and guide you down the runway.
From high-end designer wear to vintage finds, our reporters have the inside scoop.
Looking good isn't about dishing out a lot of cash. In fact, vintage wear is in.
Our own Ana Rodriguez shows us how you can save money while still being a fashionista.
Vintage is back and with a vengeance, and these timeless fashions came, saw, and conquered the first annual Second Time Around fashion show at the W Hotel. Marissa Malosky is the director of styling at Second Time Around. She says fashion's #1 trend this season is thrift shopping.
Second time around, the last couple of years with the recession has been, the place where you can really be guaranteed to still kind of keep that level of fashion and currentness to your wardrobe without spending, gobs of money. You're right, you can get a Louis Vuitton bag for, in some cases under $500, which is, unheard of.
Terry Mann was the independent stylist behind the show's 60 looks that range from that must-have biker jacket to the feminine peacoats.
I like to mix and match. I love everything to be textures and colors, and I like to mix them all together. I once put a guy in every single thing he had was a different texture.
And from textures to colors, from Chanel to H&M, Terry Mann knows how to mix it up without messing up.
Definitely keep to one pot piece. Let's take animal print. And I'm not showing any animal print, though it is my favorite. I think that, one piece, whether it's the handbag, whether it's the jacket, the shoe, one piece of animal print. And I think the same way goes to start off with a pattern and then, use your magazines as your guide and your tool.
Hundreds of fashion-forward Bostonians flock to the W Hotel to catch a glimpse of the latest pocket-friendly fashion trends.
Right now, shopping's not a priority for everybody. Money's not coming in as much as it's going out. So if you can save on shopping, you can't argue that, right?
Because I'm a fashion lover, the first thing I love is the look. The second thing that's most important is practicality and accessibility. Because you can love a certain style, but if you can't afford it, it's not going to work for you.
Jean Nicholson is the store's fashion director. She says thrift shopping, or what many may call thrifting, is a trend that may stick around even when the recession ends.
We're coming out of a recession, but people are still wanting to be so frugal and smart with their money, whereas, a couple years ago, 5 years ago, people would go splurge on that Louis Vuitton handbag. Now they're thinking, okay, maybe I can get this handbag a smarter way.
Soon after the show ended, attendees swarmed the pop-up store to get first bids on the runway trends. Reporting from Boston's Fashion Week, I'm Ana Rodriguez, WEBN.
Swapping is the new shopping. This is another way to freshen up your wardrobe without spending a lot of money.
Nikki Fig checked out the Sip and Swap, where she learned what it takes to become a swapaholic.
Many fashionistas are giving up shopping for swapping.
You come with a bag of clothes. It can be any size, anywhere from 3 items to your whole closet, and then you swap them out. We give you a reusable bag to fill up to the brim with.
Melissa Macello is the co-founder of the Swapaholics. They hold monthly clothes swaps, and tonight's Sip and Swap event was part of Boston's Fashion Week. Attendees came with a bag full of clothes they were eager to swap out.
There's some girls wearing really cute stuff in line, so hopefully they're giving away some cute stuff inside too. It should be fun.
The doors opened and the swappers got to work. They scoured through heaps of clothes, shoes, and accessories, enjoying the unique experience.
You never know what you're gonna get, and you kind of pick up things that you're like, I don't know if I would wear this. Maybe I wouldn't buy it in a store, but I'm gonna pick it up because it's pretty cool.
And Macello says that clothes swaps aren't a trend, they're a lifestyle.
We really see swapping as the future. It really closes the gap between shopping and donating and allows you to keep really cool things in circulation, swap them out with your friends, make new friends in the process, and it's a great budget-friendly, planet-friendly, and social way to get new things.
All of the clothes that didn't get picked up tonight will be donated to Boston's Goodwill. Reporting from Somerville, I'm Nikki Fig, WEBN News.
Boston designers came together to show off their work at this year's Independent Designers Market. You could see everything from handbags to hats.
Brittany Berkowitz spoke with jewelry designer Amy Rose about her craft.
Everyone has been making a fuss over fashion. At the Boston Independent Designers Market, shoppers were drawn to designer Amy Rose's table. It was for her jewelry line, Vintage Fuss.
I basically started Vintage Fuss in the intention of every girl has their grandmother's jewelry sitting in their jewelry box, and you countlessly look at it. It's super sentimental, but you're looking at it going, I'm never going to wear it.
Vintage Fuss is all about updating our ancestors' out-of-date jewels.
So I started putting brooches on belt buckles and on cuff bracelets and clip-on earrings to adjustable ring bases, and it just kind of took off from there.
Inspired by jewelry from her own grandmother, family has a huge influence over Rose's business decisions.
I'm a stay-at-home mom, and so I have 2 little kids, and it's this whole thing of like, seeing them getting older, what am I going to do and how am I going to make a little business for myself but still be a mom.
Although she is a self-taught designer, Rose feels like she's constantly learning.
I meet people every day that, especially at a show like this, and they're like, oh my gosh, I have this, what do you think you could do with that? And 9 times out of 10, I end up making something that I'm like, exceeded my expectations that I never thought was even something I'd ever do.
For Rose, jewelry making is a personal experience, and much of her work revolves around design requests and custom-made pieces.
I love making something special that someone loves.
For WEBN News, I'm Brittany Berkowitz.
Falling into fashion is just getting started.
Stay tuned for more fashion-forward trends.
Welcome back. We're continuing down Newbury Street and we're ready to take another trip down the runway.
I had the chance to talk with some designers at this year's Emerging Trends Fashion Show. They came to Boston from all over and introduced me to their upcoming collections.
Watch out, fashion industry. Petals, latex, and dinosaurs are taking over. The Emerging Trends Fashion Show was held on September 25th. 22 fashion designers showcased their up-and-coming lines.
Designers have brought trends from all around the world to Boston.
So I'm just trying to show them a little New York flavor.
The event was held at the Castle near the Park Plaza Hotel. Designer Janice Louise Miller from Montreal, Canada, presented her line of 100% recycled material.
It's something that worldwide people are doing, like reconstructing their designs. So I came to the Boston market because it's something that I wanted to, I can go to New York, but they've seen that there already, so I wanted to come somewhere where they haven't seen it before.
Miller was one of the 3 featured designers at the event. Her goal is to create garments that transform the industry while being environmentally friendly. The second headlining designer, Vivian, presented her line that is influenced heavily by her Chinese culture.
I'm from China, my culture, so a lot of the solar I took some is like a traditional Chinese dress, so it's very fitted. They're very fun and romantic and chic.
The last featured designer, Hung Vu, showed Boston a more sophisticated couture look.
There's a lot of detail and they all have to be done by hand and very carefully put on the dress.
Each of her pieces have been created with special attention to detail, with an abundance of petals and flowers. The fashion show was a great opportunity for these designers to show the city of Boston some new flavors of fashion.
One way to give the runway an edge is to get the audience involved.
Shastra's Fashion Resurrected did just that. It was an interactive fashion show where guests selected outfits to be featured on the catwalk.
Chad Boyle was there in the midst of the action.
Most fashion shows are open to industry insiders and the media elite. But that is not the case with Sastra Productions' Fashion Resurrected. It is an interactive fashion show open to consumers. Co-founder of Sastra Productions, Natalie Petrak, explains what an interactive fashion show is all about.
Interactive in the sense that our guests are going to come in and they're going to be able to take a look at what French Lessons has to offer this season, select outfits that they want to see on the models, and then the models will put them on and model them during the show.
Kathy King is the creative director for Zach Lowe's Shoes. She says an interactive fashion show is also a great way for the designer to see what interests the consumer.
You get a lot more input from the women that are actually wearing the clothing, because you can look at a fashion show and see something absolutely gorgeous on the runway, and there's usually only 1 or 2 pieces that you will actually take home and wear.
The different and unique concept of an interactive fashion show is what drives consumers like Dimitra Georgakopoulos to Fashion Resurrected.
A, you're seeing real hand how it looks, and B, it is the latest and greatest, and you can ask questions of the designers. If you want something custom done, they're very willing to work with you, so that makes it very interesting to be interactive. So.
Fashion Resurrected saw clothing go from the racks to the runway, as opposed to the runway to the racks. At the Langham Hotel here in Boston, I'm Chad Boyle, WEBN News.
From Boston to Bollywood, reporters Christine Ryan and Jacqueline Tianson spent the evening at Chubra's Fall and Holiday Show.
They witnessed the night's fusion of Eastern and Western.
This fashion show focused on three things: silk, color, and the environment. That's right, the environment. Chubra uses eco-friendly fabrics when making her clothes.
There's a lot of waste in terms of just how clothing is used one season, not ever used again, or sold off to discounters. And my goal is to actually build a timeless collection.
The all-natural fabrics were filled with color and different patterns.
I'm originally from India. I went to grad school here, but I grew up there. And I just, color's in my blood. I love it. And when I see it, I respond to it.
This fashion show might not have been as crowded as the fashion shows in New York City, but it still did excite the people who came here to see her new line.
I'm looking forward to seeing new stuff and her embracing the fusion of Eastern and Western cultures.
I thought it was great. It was a good variety of men and women's clothing, casual clothing, dressy stuff, great vibrant colors, and a great setting to have the event in.
Well, Boston, there you have it. This fashion show proved that you don't have to just stick with the grays and blacks. A little eco-friendly color will go a long way this winter.
For WEBN, I'm Jackie Tiongson.
And I'm Christine Ryan.
Local Boston designers came together to show off their work at this year's Rising Design Fashion Show.
Jordan Moncada was there to let us know what sets this show apart from the rest.
There seems to be more and more new independent fashion designers. And for one night, they got their chance to face each other. These 9 designers are all graduates of Massachusetts College of Art and Design. This is their own fashion show designed from start to finish.
We just kind of got together. We started having brunches on Sundays just to kind of talk about things. I know about this opportunity at this boutique, or, so-and-so is hiring. So it was more like a networking thing, and then we thought, hey, Boston Fashion Week's coming up. Let's get together and have a show. So we kind of picked each other.
The Rising Design Fashion Show was not your typical catwalk. It was set in the Mobius Gallery, and the models didn't strut down a classic runway. The U-shaped form of the seating allowed for a more intimate setting for the audience, models, and designers.
We want to be here, so having it here, especially in an intimate setting in Boston, that's just really what we wanted, is for people to see the clothing up close.
Unlike other fashion shows, these rising designers work together rather than against each other. In the high-speed fashion industry, they put the competition aside in order to network.
There's no competition. We only help each other. Our networking skills, and just everybody has their own business sense. And when it all comes together, we get so much done. But at the same time, we can independently be designers going after what we want in the field that we want. But we know we have this network of people that are there to help with whatever we need.
All the rising designers are continuing to work on their lines, which are set to premiere in early 2011. Reporting in Boston, I'm Jordan Moncada.
Before we keep heading down Newbury, we've got to take a break.
When we come back, we'll introduce you to some of the designers at the Rising Design Fashion Show. So don't stray too far, we'll be right back.
We've almost made it down Newbury, but we still have more from the fashion front.
Courtney Carter got up close and personal with the designers at the Rising Design Fashion Show. They'll let you know what they have in store for this season.
It was a night of fashion inspiration. This is the Rising Design Fashion Show at Mobius. It featured 5 collections from graduates from the Massachusetts Institute of Art Fashion Design program. One of those designers is Jennifer Griffith, who began her journey at a young age.
I've been dressing up, ever since I was a little kid. I was Punky Brewster. I'd always have on layers of jewelry. I'd have on mismatched outfits.
Each artist had a different perspective. Designer Margaret Lawrence had a plum posy theme and focused solely on gowns.
It's kind of a dual take on the word posy. Most people associate it with like the flowers, and so there's kind of some floral motifs in my designs, but the word posy also means like fashionable and stylish, especially with the intention to impress, which is kind of like the epitome of fashion, I guess.
Yet designer June Montiero cared more about making her customers pleased than astounded. She began her path to fashion in college, where she made her friends clothing for their evenings out.
So much fun, and it was so inspiring to know that you can make people so happy by what they have on that I knew that's what I wanted to do.
The designers' collections will soon be on the Rising Design website. For WEBN, I'm Courtney Carter.
Nikki Fig had a chat with Kimberly Benson. She is the founder of the clothing line Heretic City.
Benson told Nikki what inspires her work and how her t-shirts tell a story.
Stories of love, lust, and vengeance. These are the themes of Kimberly Benson's clothing line.
The clothing line is called Heretic City, and basically it's the story of an urban love tragedy.
Benson's design process was a little different.
Well, it sort of originated as more of a conceptual art in my head. And I was trying to figure out how was I going to apply it to something to sell it.
Each t-shirt reads like a book. The story begins on the front and ends on the back.
You can choose your story, choose your piece of the line, whatever your sort of romantic love situation is, and just wear it out loud.
She claims a unique design is the key to survival.
It's something that many people say they've never seen before, being that each of our shirts right now, they tell a full story.
As Heretic City's success grows, so does Benson's vision.
I've sacrificed everything to make this happen.
From the Independent Designers Market for EBN News, I'm Nikki Fig.
We've saved one unique designer for last. Have you ever heard of latex couture?
I haven't until now. Darian Harvin met with Dawn Mostow, who holds the title of Miss Rubber World 2010. She has brought the world of latex to the next level.
Literally the biggest show in Boston. We have 22 designers, 45 models, a team of over 50 hair and makeup artists.
For one night, the catwalk was rolled out at the Park Plaza Castle. The Emerging Trends Fashion Show, hosted by Miss Massachusetts, gave local and international designers the opportunity to showcase their work. One standout amongst the designers was Dawn Mostow.
I think that the most unique part of my line is that I'm using latex in a new way. I'm using historically inspired patterns, very intricate applique, and my goal is to make the outfits look like a living graphic design.
Mostow believes her line represents new trends that we will see in the future.
We want to look like the future, we want to respect the past, and the celebrities right now want to show their uniqueness, they're wearing latex.
The event was more than just a way for designers to show their clothing. Danielle Metropoulos believes that trends brought to Boston will soon be taking the world by storm.
I think Boston is either very, very extreme, a little too much, or they're a little too conservative. So I think what's great about Boston and these new and upcoming designers that they're kind of being able to find a balance between both. So it's really good because I'm a big fan of Boston fashion. It's very conservative but a little trendy at the same time. So they have great potential, and I'm really excited to see what happens.
It's clear from tonight's show that trends may change with the seasons, but style is everlasting. Outside of the Park Plaza Castle, I'm Darian Harvin for WEBN.
We finally made it down Newbury, and I resisted the urge to shop.
Yeah, me too. Thanks for tuning in for this year's WEBN's Falling Into Fashion special.
We hope you've enjoyed it as much as we have. For Boston's fashion scene, I'm Victoria Berglund.
And I'm Layla Halabian. Don't turn us off just yet because we'll be giving you a look at some real Newbury Street fashionistas.